again, it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. The point is that these myths, they're designed to explain these two types of people. You've got people who create, and also notice that most of the time, the world religions even begin with a being who creates just by saying it, brings it into existence just by speaking it, because we understand that words create worlds. That words create the world that you live in the sense that whatever it is that you see, you interpret, and you speak. You can actually, as I've said before, you can get people to believe in fake realities if you can order your words correctly. Like little kids who lie, they can convince that the world is different from what it is. It's the whole point of why we lie, because we want people to believe in a fictional world. So therefore, when we're lying, we're not living in accordance with actual creations. We're distorting a creation. And this word here, pessimist, we can plug in almost anything there, any negative trait. A racist is a person who thinks everybody is as racist as they are. Those some of the most racist people I've ever met in my life are always the people who are accusing everybody else of being racists. People who talk about respect the most, I think you're going to find are typically the people who are the least respectful people you're ever going to meet. They're always talking about respect, but they're the last people to give respect. By the way, I asked this question not because I expect you to know, but because it is something that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then a whole bunch of things kind of make sense. And by the way, this doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. That's not the point of this, or if you believe in the gods or not. That's not the important part of this. The important part is that we create these mythologies because we're trying to explain something psychologically. We're trying to make sense of something about the world. But the one thing that you'll see that all the gods have in common is that they tend to create. All great world religion begins with a being who comes along and creates. And that's the thing that gives them the authority to judge. Because that's the being that comes along and creates humans. So that's the being that gives us, that therefore has the authority to decide good human, bad human. Which behavior is good, which behavior is bad. Because they create the game, they get to make their rules. It's like if we're playing Monopoly. There's a rule book, and who wrote the rule book? The person who invented the game. So who writes the rule books about what it is that a human is supposed to be doing? Well, the one who kind of creates humans makes the rules. And so it's more complex than that. If I see you guys as seniors, it'll come up way more often then. But there are two kinds of people. There are people who create, and those are the people who we come in mind. By the way, we kind of know this intuitively, because you think about the people in our society who we seem to admire the most. They're the ones who create things. Either an artist, even like a pop star even, they create music, they create paintings, they create entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is not just a business person. An entrepreneur is a person who creates a company. So we understand too that creation is a really good thing. Now, who's the enemy of God? The devil, yeah. And what does the devil do? Destroys. And you've got these two types of people in the world. Again, it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. The point is that these myths, they're designed to explain these two types of people. You've got people who create, and also notice that most of the time, the world religions even begin with a being who creates just by saying it, brings it into existence just by speaking it, because we understand that words create worlds. That words create the world that you live in the sense that whatever it is that you see, you interpret, and you speak. You can actually, as I've said before, you can get people to believe in fake realities if you can order your words correctly. Like little kids who lie, they can convince that the world is different from what it is. It's the whole point of why we lie, because we want people to believe in a fictional world. So therefore, when we're lying, we're not living in accordance with actual creations. We're distorting a creation. We're trying to take what actually is and has been created, and we're trying to manipulate it and change it to trick people. People who, and this is why, this is what lies do. Lies attack the truth. And so whatever it is that is constructive is good. Whatever it destroys, therefore, is bad. The things that are destructive to ourselves, the things that are destructive to the world around us, the things that are destructive to others. And so when I ask that question, why is it that some people create and some people destroy? This is an old way of trying to understand these two types of personalities. There are gods and there are devils. there are divine beings and there are demons. And so, and this way won't be a surprise when you look at how people actually interact in their lives. You'll find that destructive people tend to be highly destructive. And the things that we do to destroy ourselves tend to be the things that are contrary to our nature. Like, what is it to be a human? What is it to be good? What it is to be good is just basically to be on the side of what actually is. Like, when you think about things in your life that actually lead to your destruction, aren't they always when we're doing things that we're not supposed to be doing? And it's not just like a society that comes along and makes a rule, but it's actually destructive to us. And yet it's weird how like the things that are destructive to us we're so like hell-bent on doing, and we actually get pissed when people tell us not to do it. Like, we go out of our way to hide our phones under our desks so we think people aren't looking. Yeah, like I didn't see it the first half hour. You're right, you're so goddamn slick. That's another lie that attacks the fabric of reality. Now, I'm not the guy who runs around and tries to save you from yourself. You choose paths, and you've got people in your life who direct you in those things. But do we call them out when we see them, or do we let people destroy themselves? It is a hard choice. It is a hard choice, because you're going to find that when you actually try to do the right thing, surprise, surprise, the people who are doing the wrong thing will deny it. They'll hate you. They'll talk about you. And for why? Because you're trying to help them. And not by any stretch of by like what you think is the right thing. But, I mean, do any of us really think that, like, for example, being so addicted to a device that is designed to distract us that we actually hide them underneath desks to try to get away with it, that doesn't indicate like a deficiency in personality, that there's something wrong with us, that we can't just separate ourselves from this thing for a few minutes? Would any of us want our children to be so wired into it that they miss all the reality around them because they're focused on a pixelated screen? But then again, having said that, do we not hate the person who then comes along and says it? And that becomes this question: why hate the person who comes along and says it? That's the pessimist. The pessimist is the one who thinks everybody is as terrible as they are, and they hate you for it. Why would you be telling me something good? I hate you for it. Why would you be telling me something that is what I do? I hate you for it. Because they think the whole world looks just like them. Why would a person be telling you about that? Oh, they must just hate me. Why? Because that's the only reason you would ever tell anybody something positive or constructive. In other words, people who can't distinguish between these two, they combine these two. They think anything that's constructive is destructive. And again, it's the mindsets. It's how it is that we see the world. Because none of us sees the world the way that it really is. We see the world the way that we are. And this word here, pessimist, we can plug in almost anything there, any negative trait. A racist is a person who thinks everybody is as racist as they are. Those some of the most racist people I've ever met in my life are always the people who are accusing everybody else of being racists. People who talk about respect the most, I think you're going to find, are typically the people who are the least respectful people you're ever going to meet. They're always talking about respect, but they're the last people to give respect. So you can plug in almost any negative characteristic there. And it's a world of people who think the world looks just like them. And then they hate you for it when you call it out, because we know exactly what they are. That's the it at the very bottom of it. It's the unconscious motivation that we know. And so, as a general rule, by the way, when you see a quote and you see the word is in it, it's the same as an equal sign. So like, whenever you see this word is, it's the same as an equal sign. So in short, whatever's on both sides of that word is, the person is telling you is equal. So it's a definition. So here, he's being facetious. He's making a joke. He's not saying that a pessimist is this thing he's saying. He's not giving us like an actual definition. He's giving us like a sarcastic definition of a pessimist. But whenever you say the word equal, like 2 plus 3 equals 5, is telling us that what's on this side of the equation is the same as what's on that side of the equation, qualitatively, in terms of their qualities. So for this one, but also in the future when we see quotes, just keep that in mind. When you see the word is, even just when you're talking, the word is telling you what's on both sides of that being equal. So, any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Monday. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.